You haven't texted me yet. What's going on with you?
What do you mean? Is something the matter?
Come on now, Mr. Frederick. You call yourself a man with this kind of behavior?
Excuse me?
It's only like the most important rule in the book that when a man asks a woman for her contact information, he texts her or something himself later on that very day. You're aware that it's polite custom, right? I've been waiting since yesterday for your message, you know.
Oh, is that so? I apologize for that. I just fell asleep upon coming home yesterday. I had a pretty hard day, you see.
Is that the best excuse you can come up with? I must say it's mediocre, Mr. Frederick. You really believe you can be a good man to take the lead in this? I beg to differ.
I'm sorry.
What were you doing this whole time? It's been more than 12 hours since we parted ways last night.
As I said, I fell asleep after coming home, and then I woke up this morning to go to work.
I see. Anything else you gotta say?
Excuse me? Anything else, Miss Megan?
Yes, indeed, Mr. Frederick. There is something you want to say to me, isn't there?
I'm afraid I can't think of anything. Forgive me for messaging you so late.
That's not what I mean. Honestly, how can you call yourself a member of society with this much of a lack of common sense? I suppose you're only an ordinary officeman working for some subcontractor company. It's the only explanation. After things go well at a group date, we usually say thank you for a great time today, or how about a cup of coffee on Saturday? Can't you see how you have to say these things afterwards? How can you call yourself a man?
I'm a man, Miss Megan, but I must admit these things have indeed slipped my mind. I'm very sorry.
At least you understand now. So what now, Mr. Frederick?
Excuse me? What do you expect, Miss Megan?
Oh my gosh, you don't understand a thing. How do you want to proceed with what we have? What do you hope to achieve with me? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Just hurry up and invite me to dinner already. Ask me something smart like, when will be a good idea for you?
Dinner, you say? It would be fun if we went out again with the yesterday's group, I must say.
I'll inform the secretary from yesterday about this.
Mr. Frederick?
Yes?
How dare you call yourself a man, you stupid coward!
I don't understand what you mean.
With this kind of atmosphere, it's more than obvious that it should result in the two of us going out together. Making me explain every single step of how this should go, you're not a gentleman, not in the slightest. At this rate, I don't believe we have anything to show for it.
But it's also fun for all of us if we all went out again. I'm sure the people from last night will want to go out again sometime soon. I think that's a nice idea. Wouldn't you agree?
Have you ever been listening to what I was just saying? Don't tell me you've gone off your rocker or something.
I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure about this, but do you mean to tell me you want to go out to dinner with me? Just the two of us?
Unbelievable. Who just asked something so forthright like that to a woman? You really can't be called a man, Mr. Frederick. I'm now sure that someone like you has a pretty small salary and isn't even on a path towards promotions and stuff. A perpetually ordinary, unimpressive officeman. And that's why you won't ever get married, live through life in a daze, and die alone and unloved.
Please don't envision my future like that. You make it sound like something straight out of a suicide survivor's life.
And yet it's true in real life, isn't it? If you don't want that to happen to you, may I suggest that you learn a bit about how to take the lead in establishing a relationship with a woman? At this point, I can still listen anyway.
Listen, by which you mean what exactly?
How clueless can you get, damn it? I mean, you can still try to ask me out. Sounding smart, mind. If you can't do that, I'm just gonna block you, all right?
Block?
Yes, block. I'm not gonna talk with you anymore. You're okay with that? That means you're gonna miss your chance with a beautiful older woman that'll take good care of you. Are you seriously okay with that?
And who is this woman?
Me, damn it! Who else would it be? I may not look it, but I'm actually a little older than you, Mr. Frederick. That's why I'm telling you all of these things, out of a sisterly sense of pity, I suppose. I hope you appreciate that. Not everyone wants to show the way of courting someone like you, a mere low-salary officeman.
No, thank you.
Uh-huh? What do you mean?
You don't have to show me the ways of courting, I assure you.
The hell are you saying? If you mean to tell me that you can't even realize how pathetic you are in this, I give up, and I'm blocking you.
Please, by all means.
The heck? What the hell do you mean? You're okay with me blocking you?
Yes, indeed. Even if you block me, it's not like it's gonna bother me. And also, Miss Megan, you've been saying some pretty nasty stuff for a while now, and I don't remember ever asking you out to dinner, nor do I remember things going well between us. I wonder why it's become this kind of atmosphere where it's obvious we have to go out together, the two of us. It's pretty puzzling to me, see?
What are you talking about? I know you were after me yesterday. You were staring at me with that lock of lust in your eyes I know all too well. I know, Mr. Frederick. I know exactly what you want.
Huh? That look of lust in my eyes, as nasty as it sounds, was always my natural expression. Instead, I never considered you as hot, so I can confidently say I never looked at you with a lack of lust.
Do you realize how rude you are right now?
Well, I've been the victim of some insulting myself, so I thought something small like this would still be okay. Was I over the line?
You were way over the line. You were staring at me yesterday and we were touching when we were sitting beside each other.
You were sitting right in front of me. So you were naturally in my line of sight. I was never going after you, Miss Megan. Not by a smidge. So you don't need to worry.
You better watch yourself with all those lies.
All that nonsense about us touching, I think your accusations have also gone pretty far. When we did change seats last night and you wound up beside me, who was it that tried to lock her arm of mine and that tried to grab my leg? Oh yes, that's right, it was you, Miss Megan.
I can't believe this. I can't believe that I'm talking to the most infuriating, rudest person to ever walk this earth. Do you have a fleeting understanding of what you're saying to me?
I could say the same to you, Miss Megan. You do realize I could have sued you for sexual harassment, right?
Sexual harassment, my ass. I could have sued you for the same thing.
I believe everyone that was there yesterday would vouch for me in court, though.
This is too much. I'm freaking blocking you.
Go ahead. You've been telling me you would for a while now.
You're really okay with this. I don't care if you regret this later.
Don't worry, I won't.
I never imagined you would be this much of a rude scumbag, Frederick. Such a waste of my time.
Yeah, you and me both, sister. I only have 5 minutes left for my lunch break. Want to know the funny thing? I still haven't eaten my lunch yet. And also, I think this is the first time someone's insulted me this much. And believe me, I've been a victim of such criticism all my life.
Your life will be one of poverty and misery without any happiness whatsoever. It suits you well, damn it.
Thankfully, I do have some money stashed away, so I don't think your prediction will come true anytime soon.
What?
I actually run a company, you see. It isn't much of a big enterprise at the moment, but I founded it a few years ago, and it's finally become large enough to employ a couple hundred people. Business has been going well lately, and an old friend of mine invited me to this group date, so I thought it would be a nice change of pace. Little did I know I would learn a valuable lesson as a result. I learned that people like you, stubborn, arrogant, and downright rude people, really do exist in the world.
You're running a company? You mean to tell me that you're a director?
Yes, I am. More specifically, I'm the CEO.
Why in the world would you leave such important detail out until later on, sir?
You were completely convinced that I was a poor office man.
But your outfit from yesterday.
Being a CEO demands so much from me, Miss Megan, and I simply don't have the time to be concerned about fashion. A simple jacket and jeans can't do you any wrong, can they? For work, I wear ready-made suits that my secretary arranges for me. So I really don't have to worry about nice clothes anyway. Well then, you can block me now.
And why would I do that, Mr. Frederick? I was actually interested in you since the beginning. That's why I mustered up the courage to contact you myself, you see. And I do believe you hold me in high regard, too. Let's start this slowly with a nice dinner, the two of us.
Huh? No way, that's not gonna happen. It was never gonna happen, Megan.
But why? I've taken the submissive route now, you see.
When a person you meet yesterday insults and chastises someone as much as you have done to me, no matter how much you try to fix things, it's never gonna work. I've always had an eye to see people for who they are professionally, and I already had an idea about you yesterday. But I never thought it would be to this extent.
But I've had my eyes on you from the beginning, you know? Why did you ask me for my contact information then? Anyone would think that there's a chance with us then, at that point.
You pushed that information right under my nose, Megan. Even when I didn't exactly want it. And also, you've been saying some nasty things to every single person that was there yesterday, haven't you?
How do you know about that?
There were multiple screenshots of what you said to them in the group chat.
A group chat?
I created one along with the people from yesterday, you see? Oh yes, with everyone but you, of course. After you left for home yesterday, we all went to karaoke.
What the hell? I never knew about this.
Even the other girls seem to be struggling with your shenanigans. You forced a colleague of yours to invite you to a group date. Completely disregarding the fact that you're at least 10 years older than all the other girls. Respect to you for being positive during the group date, but there's no doubt now the group's apparently gonna hang out often without ever inviting you. I did invite you too, and you declined strongly, I might add. Well then, you don't seem to be wanting to block me, so I might as well do it. Goodbye. Megan tried her best to patch things up with Frederick by contacting multiple times, but she'd already been blocked. She then attempted to get her girlfriends to reach out to him, but that level of obsession was only met with scorn and contempt. By now, it seems that no one in her company is willing to talk with her anymore, and she had realized how she behaves towards people in general. And as for Frederick, he went on to begin a relationship with one of the girls from the group date, under the presumption they would get married in the end. Let's hope Megan doesn't find out about this and that they find happiness in their life together.
Hey, Eve. I wanted to check in about those materials that I asked you to have ready by tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure that you were actually going to be finished making them in time. I see they haven't been submitted and it's already so late.
Hello, Mr. Brown. Thank you for reaching out to me outside of work hours. I'm a little confused as to what you mean by those materials for tomorrow. I thought that you knew your daughter Hillary was in charge of them.
But I told her to go and ask her supervisors for help making them if it was going to be too difficult for her to do it on her own. Do you know that she's new to the company? Are you seriously going to pretend like it's okay to leave this work undone just because it was specifically assigned to you?
I'm sorry if there's been some kind of miscommunication, Mr. Brown, but I've been checking in with Hillary every step of the way she's been doing this. And every time I've asked her if she's making progress or needs help, she always told me that things are going well. It was only today, right as I was supposed to be clocking out, that she came up to my desk and told me that she actually wasn't going to have it done on time at all. And that's when she asked me to take care of it for her. That's why I'm still at the office this late at night.
So there you go. You admit that you were slacking off doing your duties as her supervisor and failed to assess actual progress being made. Honestly, I don't know why this company ever gives these kinds of roles to women. They always let their petty interpersonal drama get in the way of everything. And then you have the gall to try and put this all on an employee that you were supposed to be keeping an eye on?
Sir, are you really trying to pin all of this on me when I'm the one working hard to make sure this all gets finished before tomorrow?
It's obvious that you were being a bad supervisor and making Hillary feel uncomfortable coming to you with this matter. It's no wonder she waited until the last minute to ask for your help in finishing it up. You really need to think about the environment you're making for our employees.
Even if that was true, the fact of the matter is that Hillary didn't ask for my help in finishing it. She gave me what she had done and told me to do the rest for her. She told me she had plans that she couldn't miss and then left the office.
And now you're trying to pin this all on my daughter just because she had plans for tonight? Who knows how long she's had this on her agenda? Hillary is still young. Do you understand that? You shouldn't be wasting her youth with busy work. Besides, it's like you said, it was time to quit for the day, and there's no reason why my Hillary should ever have to work overtime. If you're not going to do your job in making sure she gets her work done during work hours, then of course it's all going to fall back on you.
Are you serious, Mr. Brown? I told you that I checked in with Hillary over and over again.
Well, clearly you were doing something wrong or else none of this would have happened at all. Now quit trying to blame my daughter for your screw-ups. If my daughter asks you to finish her work for her, you just nod and say, yes, ma'am. I hope you're ready to spend all night at the office.
So you really aren't going to talk to your daughter about making sure this doesn't happen again? Do I understand that right?
She has a right as an employee to refuse to work past regular hours. And as her superior in the office, you need to quit abusing your power and recognize that right of hers. If she says no to more work at the end of the day, then obviously any work that was left undone under your watch would fall to you.
I really don't think that's the company policy. And anyways, it wasn't that she couldn't do the work, it's that she wasn't doing any work. Even though I was repeatedly reminding her to do so, not only that, but this isn't the only problem like this I've had with her.
Well, you really do have some nerve trying to pass off all of your failures onto your underlings. You're the more experienced employee, so this is on you to fix.
Okay, then I understand, but that being said, I do have one more thing to ask of you, sir. When we've gone out for company dinners, Hillary was paying for her share with the company's end of your party fund. Not only that, but she's been caught taking money from that fund to go out and eat by herself as well. This is a textbook case of embezzlement, and it really is a serious issue. So could you at least talk to her about that? Sir, are you really asking me to just overlook her stealing from the company?
You really are such a cheapskate, do you know that? Do you really think that we're not going to be able to have any kind of fun events around here if one person is taking money out of the fund to treat themselves to lunch now and then? We're going to be just fine. And you really need to stop trying to get Hillary in trouble for every little thing she does.
Sir, are you really asking me to just overlook her stealing from the company? Have you ever done something like this in your time here?
Why do you keep using those words? Stealing? Embezzling? It's nothing like that at all. Well, it's just certainly not those things.
I see. So then should I tell the rest of the staff to start paying for their own lunches with company money? Because it sounds to me like you're saying that's an acceptable thing to do.
You know that isn't okay. If that many people were taking from the fund, then higher-ups would surely notice. That's why my daughter and I are the only ones who can do that. Got it?
I really don't think that's true at all, and you really haven't made a convincing case for yourself.
Well, if you don't like it, then you can just quit your job. What do you think about that? Because if you're not going to listen to what your boss has to say, then we don't need you here. Don't you ever forget your place in this company.
I see. Well, okay, I suppose I understand the situation better now, at least. I'll finish the rest of Hillary's work before the end of the night. See you tomorrow, Mr. Brown. Hey there, Eve. I was looking over the work that you left on my desk last night, and this looks perfect. Thank you so much. Even my dad was saying what an amazing job you did with all of this. I know that I should have left all this work for you. But man, I really didn't think that a company would let me get away with doing something like that. You only got away with doing it because your dad got you your job in this department. But if you ever go and find another job, I really wouldn't recommend acting the way that you have been. For example, the day after I turned in your work for you, I also saw that you left a receipt for what appears to be a night of drinking and expensive food at a bar. What exactly do you want me to do with this? What do you mean, what do I want you to do with it? I used the company card to pay for it, so I want you to take it off our records. Well, this wasn't a work expense, so I guess what I'll do is create an invoice for you to pay back what you spent on the card. Oh, Eve, you really are just so funny. Do you know that? But now, this receipt is related to work. You see, I've had to drink more to keep up with the stress of this job, so therefore the company should be paying for my outings. I see. Well, as compelling as that is, that goes against company policy, so I'm afraid I can't make that happen. Oh, really? But I was talking to my dad, and he told me to just leave the receipt on your desk for you to take care of. So are you really going to pretend like you know more about how this company works than my dad? You do know that he's your boss, right? You really need to learn your place in this company, Eve. I appreciate your reminding me of that, but the thing is that your father doesn't have the right to make that call either. In fact, neither of you should be using company money for personal outings. Listen to me. You should know that I have a date with the CEO of this company, okay? So if things go well, then I am going to become the wife of the next CEO. That means that I'll be higher up than you could ever hope to be. I see. So you're basing this all off one date that you haven't had yet? Sometimes I wonder why I even bother with you at all. It's all part of my dad's plan to help us climb up this corporate ladder, and I'm his secret weapon. I see. Well, that's just quite creepy, but it also doesn't have anything to do with me or this. So you can have whatever love life you want, but while you're at work, you are expected to do your job and follow the company rules. Yeah, some unmarried old hag like you would try and go on a power trip with me, but don't be jealous just because I'm getting married and you're still single. You keep going on about separating the personal from the business, and yet here you are bullying me all day just because I have a love life and you don't. That is not what is going on here in the slightest. I am talking to you every day about the fact that you never do any work. You go out drinking on the company dime and you leave all your duties for me to take care of. Is that how you think you should be behaving at your age? You really just know how to push my buttons, don't you? I had no idea you were such a cruel, horrible woman. I'm sorry if you think I'm being mean, but someone needs to put their foot down and let you know that you can't act like this. You need to take responsibility for your job. I'll have you know that I am working my tail off. I work so hard every single day. All I want is a little break to recompose myself now and then, but you would rather I just work myself to death for this place. If you really can't handle the work being asked of you here, then maybe you should quit. Because everyone else here was hired for their qualifications and experience. You only got this job because your dad insisted that we hire you over much more qualified candidates. And since the day you started working here, I haven't seen you do your job once. And here I thought you were so much nicer, but I see that people only have value to you around here if they work and do whatever you say. Do you really think that's any way to treat people? Hillary, literally, what are you talking about? This is a company where we have work that needs to get done in order to meet certain deadlines. If someone isn't doing their work, then they don't belong here. You're the one who doesn't belong here. Ugh, you've got me so stressed out. I really need a drink. Just leave me alone. Wait, what? Are you really just ending this conversation here? You better not be using company money on yourself.
Hey, when are you finally going to learn to quit pushing my limits, huh? Did you know that your bullying finally made my poor daughter break down into tears? I thought I told you to learn your place in this company.
My place in this company? My place in this company is as Hillary's supervisor, so if she doesn't do her work, I have a duty to speak to her about that. I really don't see how you can accuse me of doing anything wrong.
Well, you're taking this way too far. I'm going to see to it that you're fired for what you've done to my daughter. You should have listened to me when I warned you the first time, but now you're really going to pay for it.
And just what did I do that constitutes a fireable offense, huh? Because I haven't heard of any company ever choosing to defend an employee guilty of not working. I can't see how anyone would see my actions as incorrect.
Except for the fact that you're forgetting that I'm our boss. Now submit your letter of resignation to me, and let's just get this over with.
Okay then, I'll quit. But I won't be giving you my letter. I'll be handing it to my father.
Your father? What do you mean? Don't tell me that you meant to type the company president, but you had a slip and typed out father instead? That's worse than calling a teacher mom in school. I mean, even up to the very end, you just keep making mistakes.
That wasn't a mistake. Although it wouldn't matter whether I called him dad, father, or the company president, since they're all the same person.
Wait a second. What? Are you saying that your dad is the company president?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Brown, and he isn't one to take nepotism lightly. It's clear to anyone who hears the facts about what's been going on who is in the right and who is in the wrong. So I hope you're ready for what's in store for you next.
Wait, are you serious? I mean, I thought it was funny that you two share the same last name, but I thought it was just a coincidence. I mean, both your last names were Smith. I thought that was just a really common last name.
That's why I didn't even bother trying to hide my name. I figured that everyone would think the same way that you did. And so that's why I never told anyone who my real father was.
But I don't understand. Why would they hide something as important as that from me, your boss?
Because I really didn't think it was all that important, and because I don't like using my family to get what I want. I knew that if people knew who I was related to, that I would never be treated equally.
But I should have known who you were. I mean, had I known that you were the daughter of the CEO, then I would never treated you like this.
I see. So you're saying that the way you treat employees is all connected with how much influence they might have over your career? Because I'm afraid that I've already left my desk and was going to deliver my letter of resignation to the top floor.
No, wait, stop. You can't do that, please. I can't be responsible for firing the daughter of the CEO. Please, let's just forget all about this, okay? You don't have to talk to your dad at all. Let's just all get back to work and pretend that none of this ever happened.
I'm afraid that it's far too late to try and do any of that. Besides, what would getting back to work even mean in an office where you and your daughter treat this place like your personal playground?
What are you talking about? But I promise you that the two of us are going to really start doing our jobs from here on out. I'm so sorry if you were concerned at all about our performance, but I promise to have a talk to my daughter about these very serious issues.
Wow, you really about-faced so hard. I'm not sure whether I should be laughing or cringing at that. Who was the one who was just telling me that they would defend Hillary's slacking off?
You're right. That was wrong of me, and I realize that now. I've been too soft on my daughter, and I promise to have a very stern conversation with her. Just please don't go and talk to your father about any of this yet.
No, I really can't understand, and I am going to be talking to my dad. I have seriously had it with the two of you. You have broken so many rules and violated so many policies to just serve yourself and Hillary. Did you really think that I was just going to let you get away with all of this like it was nothing?
I hope you can understand. Please, I really had no idea whose daughter you were. If I did, then I would have never acted in the way that I did towards you. It's just that, well, you know, these companies have strict structures, and sometimes I need to enforce them on underlings like I was doing with you.
I wonder if you even realize the doublespeak that you engage in all of the time. Do you realize how many contradictions you're full of? Maybe if you actually showed any level of self-awareness, then I wouldn't feel the need to go through with this.
Please, I'm begging you not to talk to your dad about this. It would cost me my job.
Well, thankfully for you, my dad doesn't come back from a business trip until tomorrow. But he may have some words to exchange with you when he is back. Anyways, that's all I have to say on the matter. What could you possibly have to say to me now? Are you really going to pretend like you're sorry for what you did just because you got caught? Besides, after what you pulled, the police are going to get involved too.
But please, surely we can just forget about all this, right? I just lost my temper is all.
I don't care what excuse you have yourself. Letting you stay in this office any longer is putting all employees at risk. I mean, you were really trying to hurt me, I could tell. But I guess you thought that just because I'm a woman means that I would be weak, huh?
I just didn't expect you to be so strong.
Well, I've been doing judo ever since I was little. I throw men twice your size and triple your strengths on the mat like it's nothing. But the fact that you tried to ambush me in the parking lot, cover my mouth with your hand, you're nothing but a coward.
Please, I didn't think that you would be able to fight back. Just give me one more chance. I'll even work for free. Just please, don't go to the police about this.
It's far too late for any of that. I've already told my dad everything. You should have seen how angry he got, but don't worry, you're still allowed on company property for one more day. After all, my dad still wants to talk to you. So anyways, go to the top floor and have your conversation with him. And by the time you're finished cleaning out your desk, the police should be on the ground floor ready to pick you up. After I told my dad everything, including what Mr. Brown tried to do to me in the parking lot, he was furious. It was actually his own staff that had to hold him back from leaping at Mr. Brown and attacking him when he entered his office. After he caught his breath, my dad explained to Mr. Brown that he and his daughter were being let go and were also being sued by the company for embezzlement. Mr. Brown was also facing a lawsuit from me as well for his attempted assault. In the end, he owed so much in legal fees that he had to go deep into debt to pay it all back. My dad also made sure that he would never work in this town again through his connections and networks. I requested a restraining order against Mr. Brown and his daughter in case they ever tried to get revenge on me. After his firing, however, I was promoted to Mr. Brown's position as department chief. Since then, both productivity and employee satisfaction have been at their highest point in years. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
Have you made it home yet?
Not yet.
You're heading there now, right?
Yes, I am.
Remember, if you show up too late, you're gonna be bothering my mom, so make sure you keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah.
What is that attitude? You should be ecstatic. You're gonna be with my mom for over a month. You should be more excited.
Why should I be? I'm literally pregnant right now. Can't believe you're saying what you're saying right now.
What, this again? We already talked about this enough, didn't we? Why do you keep bringing it up?
I'm just saying that most of the time when people go home for their pregnancy, they mean they go home to their wives' parents, not her husband's. You're probably the only person in the world who would send his own wife to his parents' house.
What do you mean, send? I just said things that made perfect sense. You're off work anyway. You should be able to help Mom out. It shouldn't be a problem, right? You're probably bored anyway when you're on maternity leave. Mom is already getting old. You need to start taking care of things around the house. What are you gonna do if something happens to Mom?
Do you understand the intention behind maternity leave? It means that I'm going to be pushing a baby out, so I need to make sure to rest and focus on that. That's already going to be tough pushing out a watermelon. You're trying to make me take care of your own parents, too. I've seriously kind of lost hope in you.
Why are you talking about that now? Mom is already waiting on you. Can you hurry up? Why don't you have her teach you how to cook? You're not that good of a cook anyway. I wish you'd really learn from my mom, you know? I wish I had a wife that was just like my mom. I can't believe a wife that would possibly start throwing a tantrum just because she's gonna have a baby. I really don't understand. And you have the audacity to call yourself my wife?
Just having a baby? I'm thinking that's more audacious than what I'm saying.
What are you talking about? It hasn't even been born yet. You're off for a whole month. You're just gonna do nothing at home anyway. That means you should be helping someone. Besides, you already agreed to the whole thing. Stop complaining. I wanted to go home to my parents' house with you. There's really nothing that beats my mom's handmade cooking.
Then you should go home.
Now stop being like that. I would have gone home if I could have, but I have work to do. It's not like I have a choice. Unlike you, I can't just take off to do nothing by taking maternity leave. It must be nice being a woman. It must be so easy.
I'm seriously getting tired of hearing about you. I don't think I can keep doing this with you. Everything you say has made me feel from bad to worse.
Huh? What are you talking about? What I'm saying right now is pretty common in life. It's not like it's crazy. Literally everyone thinks the same thing I do.
Okay, then why don't you talk to the people around you? You seem to like to say that it's easy to have a child, but it's not like you've ever experienced having a child at all. How could you possibly say that?
My mom already gave birth to kids though, but she didn't take off of her work.
Did you ask her yourself?
No, I didn't ask her, but I'm sure that my mom would never take off like that. She's a really strong and independent woman, so she would never take off just because she needs to give birth.
Okay, sure. If that's what you want to believe, then you can.
Anyway, stop your bitching and moaning, seriously. I'm letting you stay at my parents' house. You better do what you can for my mom. Once you have the baby, I'll be sure to show up and say hey. Good luck!
You don't have to come say hey. Come to think of it, I don't ever want to see you again.
What are you talking about? That's not how you should talk to your husband. Especially considering you're gonna be staying at my parents' house from now on. How could you be like that? You really don't have any kind of thank yous or graciousness?
Nope, not at all, because I'm not going there.
Huh? You're not?
Nope, I'm definitely not. I'm not going to your parents' house.
But a second ago you said you were.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to my parents' house. You know, not yours?
Huh? What are you talking about? You said you were gonna go home today.
Yeah, I said go home. I never said whose home I would be going to. When I brought up going home for my childbirth, I didn't tell you, but the fact that you tried to send me to your parents' house, it made me think of you as something less than trash. It actually made me think that all the time I spent with you in my life was a waste.
Wait, hang on, that's going too far. What the hell are you talking about? You need to calm down.
I am calm. I've been thinking calmly. And after calmly thinking for the last month, things like, you're being a complete spoiled brat taking off just because you're giving birth. Or, if you have time to do that, you should take care of my mom. Or, you married into the family, so going home to your own parents' house. So stop acting like a spoiled brat. You sound like some shitty husband straight out of a 40s movie. You keep making these statements that show clearly that you're into harassment and somehow in love with your mother still. I've decided to divorce you.
Wait, what? Divorce? What is going on all of a sudden? I didn't hear about this at all. I could never have predicted this would ever have happened.
Yeah, because I kept it from you. But I've already decided. Tried to teach some sense into you and make you understand me, but you really don't listen to me. You just keep pushing your opinion through as if it's the only thing that's right. Honestly, I've just kind of felt like it's enough.
What's enough? It's not enough. So, you're not gonna be going home then?
I said I am. I'm going to my own home. I already told Mom that you'd be going home. I know that she's getting ready for you.
Well, this is the absolute worst. Why would you do such a thing? You could have at least tried to talk to me about it.
Tried to talk to you? I've literally told you about what I thought numerous times. You were the one that continued to completely ignore me.
I didn't mean to.
It's also kind of interesting that I'm over here telling you that I want a divorce, and you're over here worried about what your mom is doing to get ready.
I'm sure you're just messing around with the divorce, right? You're just doing this whole thing to make me apologize to you, right? I already know what you're thinking.
You seriously don't understand, do you? You'll understand once you get home. I already have all the divorce papers filled out.
What? Are you being serious right now?
Also, I talked to your mom already. I just went ahead and called her just now. I didn't want her to think that I would be going today. You're a terrible husband with a really bad mommy complex, but Mom wasn't really a bad person or anything.
What are you talking about, being terrible husband with a mommy complex? You should seriously watch your tone when you talk to people.
You realize that she was apologizing, right?
Huh?
She said that she raised you wrong. Sorry for raising such a stupid son.
What? Why?
Apparently Mom thought that I couldn't go home to my parents because they were too far. That's why she thought I was going to her house. She said I didn't have to do any of the things around the house. She said that she was getting things ready so that I would be able to prepare and get ready for the baby. Because, you said that I would be going to her house. All without me agreeing with you. She got everything all ready. It's literally your fault she wasted her time.
That's what Mom said? But why? It's just childbirth.
Just childbirth? Are you stupid? No, seriously, answer the question. Are you dumb? It's literally one human being pushed out of another human being. You can never do it in your entire life. Can you stop pretending like your little story about how childbirth is easy is true? Mom was even agreeing with me. She's a seriously tough mother-in-law, but she even told me that after I gave birth, I didn't have to do anything. She was totally fine with doing everything for me. She said that she felt really bad for not being able to teach you anything. And that the divorce makes complete sense so she can't argue with me. She literally agreed with me.
Are you serious? I didn't know that. Fine. Maybe, just maybe I was wrong this time. So please, just go to my parents' home. I'll head over tonight right away. Let's talk there.
No, I'm not going there. This whole thing about childbirth was one thing, but for the month that you found out about my maternity leave, you never stopped to listen to my opinion. I was seriously at a loss for words at your actions. I'm supposed to raise a child from now on. I couldn't do it with you. I really truly do believe that now.
Hang on. Are you being dead serious about the divorce thing right now? This isn't some kind of performance?
What are you talking about, performance? I'm going to be a mom now. I figured I would just let go of things I don't need.
Things I don't need? That's way too rude. I was excited for the baby food too.
You were excited for the baby. You were the one saying that I shouldn't be a spoiled brat just because I'm having a baby. You're a piece of shit that has no idea how stressed I was.
I'm sorry about that. I wasn't being considerate enough of your feelings.
That's very true. I think that you'll be able to pay for the child support from now on. You can support the both of us that way.
You serious? Are you seriously gonna divorce me? You're not gonna be living with me?
I'm not going to be living with you. You literally ignored me for an entire month. You should have caught on way sooner, bub. It's way too late now. I'm already at my parents' house. I've already talked about everything to my parents. Why don't you get lectured by your own mother? You seem to only care about your mom. And her opinions anyways. Alright, good luck on your own. Just because you're working doesn't mean you're allowed to be a spoiled brat. Afterwards, Mark received a call from his mother at home, and he was lectured for a good 3 hours about everything and about how difficult labor can be. Mark probably cannot comprehend how badly it hurts. Afterwards, he kept contacting her to repair things and live with her. It was non-stop calls and texts, but Joanna just hung out at her house. She also gave birth to a really healthy young baby boy. He agreed to pay for all the child support later on, so eventually he'll be able to see his son. However, she decided that she would keep her distance for a while.